Maybe I have to stand up because I can't see her. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our annual meeting with coaches, skaters, with officials, and everybody who would like to know what will be next year in ice dance. And welcome also all our online viewers. I hope that you will get all the informations what you're waiting for, and I know that you're excited to hear what will be. May I first present our speakers for today. On my right, Sean Redstad. And on my left, Hilary Selby, Georgie Elek, Maurizio Margaglio, Alper Utzer, and the chief of Development Commission. Thanks to her, we have online streaming, Susanna Raccamo. So before we start with all requirements, I would like to ask Susanna if you would like to have some words to our viewers.
Yeah, welcome to this coaches seminar here and behind the screens. This is now the 8th live streaming we are doing with the Development Commission in 1 year. And just want to bring to your attention that we did at the Junior Worlds live stream, and now it's as a video on the YouTube channel, ISU Development YouTube channel. We did about healthy skater theme with the Medical Commission. So it's targeted to coaches, skaters, and the medical doctors are talking about how to maintain healthy in skating. So do go and see what's there. I think it's great material from this year and also last year. We did it in Milano. So keep on checking what's coming up. Enjoy today.
Thank you, Susanna. I think I forgot to introduce myself, but of course, you know me. But maybe viewers on the other side, they don't know me. I am Halina Gordon-Poltorak, the chair of my wonderful team. So, before we start with the requirements, I just would like to thank all coaches, all skaters, for wonderful 2 days of ice dance. I must say that for last, I don't know how many years, this variety of free dance programs, what we've seen today, and the quality of skating we've seen today, it's unbelievable. And I'm a little bit afraid that the change what we have done in the GOE to have from -5 to +5, for us +5 is not enough. For that, what we've seen already today and yesterday. So thank you very much for that 2 days of wonderful dancing on ice. Thank you. And now we start with our requirements. I know how excited you are. And we start first with the rhythm dance, and Sean will be presenting everything about the music for the next season for our rhythm dance.
Want to open questions at the end?
Okay, so if you will have any questions regarding that what will be presented, all questions please keep to the end when after the presentation we will try to answer any question. Okay, thank you.
Okay, hello everybody. Again, my name is Sean. we're going to delve right into the rhythm dance for next year, which is something new in terms of the design for the music. So musical and operetta will be the theme, which again will be the first time we've done something with that theme. And here are the requirements. So music from musicals and or operettas, all selected music should be recognized as from one of the following rhythms. So quick step, blues, march, polka, foxtrot, swing, Charleston, waltz. And of course with swing, you know, that opens the door for a variety of other rhythms, rock and roll, jive, things like that as well. The number of rhythms next year is not restricted, so different than what we did this year. The selected music may be from the same or different musicals and or operettas. So in keeping with anything that we've done with the rhythm dance, remember it needs to be a continuous arc of the music, the concept, so that it's not just pieces stuck together, but there's an overall kind of nice seamless rhythm dance. So here's a couple more specifics. So music from musicals and our operettas. Musical and our operetta can be a play on the stage, so a traditional like a Broadway show, West End Theatre in London, things like that, or a film in which music, singing, and or dancing play an essential part to tell the story. So classic examples, Chicago, Sound of Music, Mary Poppins, and on the operetta side, The Mikado. Some of these have been on both stage, some of them have been in film, and now some of them have been in both genres, stage and film. But also jukebox musicals, which is a kind of a genre to itself, are allowed. So these examples would include like a Mamma Mia and a Jersey Boys. A stage show, film, musical that includes many well-known songs from a particular singer, songwriter, or group is basically the definition of a jukebox musical, if you haven't heard that term before. So what I thought I'd do is give you a couple of examples. So this is very kind of traditional musical music. Okay, so that of course is 42nd Street. And now I'm going to play a kind of a compilation of a whole variety of songs just from one musical. And so as they're playing, think to yourself, what rhythms are we listening to? So clearly 42nd Street, that would be a great quick step. And see how many of the rhythms that I just mentioned are actually in this clip.
You got trouble right here in River City, with a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. We surely got trouble right here in River City. Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule. Farewell, lady. Farewell, lady. Farewell, lady. We're going to leave you. 76 trombones led the big parade, with 110 cornets close at hand. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. our civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin any talking out loud with any librarian, such as Marion.
Oh, ho, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. Oh, don't let it pass my door. Oh, ho, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew what he was coming for.
There's just one place that can light my fate.
Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana.
Not Louisiana, Paris, France, New York, or Rome. But
Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home.
Okay, so there's even a couple more minutes left. Foxtrot, March, clearly a couple of quick steps, so a lot of different options, and that's just one kind of musical. So that's a good kind of summary of what we're looking for. However, it doesn't have to be traditional musicals, and definitely it does not have to be sung in English. So this is just an example of a musical that's Peter Pan.
No further.
So it's a waltz, but it's in Portuguese. And then we have a polka, also in Portuguese, but not a traditional polka, because it's an Indian polka.
Uga, 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 wah. Uga, 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 wah. Uga, blue, uga, blue, uga, blue, uga, blue, wah. Uga, 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 voltando a perigo, já sei o que fazer. Só chamar a Tiger Lily, só chamar o Peter Pan. Chegaremos muito rapidinho. Bate o tambor, que eu já vou salvar a nobre guerreira.
Okay, so it could be a quick step as well, but you kind of get the idea. And then, of course, operettas, which can be in a variety of languages all around the world. Anybody know this language? So this is Hungarian operetta. What rhythm is it? Polka could be a quick step as well. Yeah, a little more polka, but... Okay, so you see there's a nice big variety out there. Music from musicals and/or operettas. However, what we're not necessarily wanting is maybe something like this. So tell me what rhythm this is.
Good Caiaphas, the council waits for you. The Pharisees and priests are here for you.
Gentlemen, you know why we are here. We've not much time and quite a problem here.
So, any guess of what rhythm that is? It's basically, you know, several musicals have this whole kind of like singing lyrics where they're just talking or singing the dialogue. We do not want that as part, because there is no recognizable rhythm in that kind of music. It's just they're advancing the storyline with trying to sing the dialogue. Versus from the same exact show.
Every time I look at you, I I don't understand. Why you let the things you did get so out of hand? You'd have managed better if you'd had it planned. Now why'd you choose such a backward time in such a strange land? If you'd come today, could have reached the whole nation. Israeli for peace, he had no mass communication. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Only wanna know. Only wanna know.
Now they're both playing. We don't want that.
Every time I look at you, I don't understand.
Okay, let me get to the next slide. Okay, so that kind of shows you that even in shows there could be music that's still usable. So if you wanted to do, that was Jesus Christ Superstar, a theme with that in it, just be careful what you're choosing in terms of those pieces of music that are just the talking, singing dialogue in that sense. Then music from a movie soundtrack, which are not movie musicals, such as Mr. and Mrs. Smith, The Godfather, Star Wars, James Bond, Mission Impossible. These are compilations of music songs, soundtracks, and are not musicals or jukebox musicals. So even though there's incredible music in some of these movies that I just mentioned, they're not the theme of a musical or operetta. So if you take this particular song, great quick step, Charleston. Where's it from? Star Wars. So as great of a piece of music it is, it just doesn't fit the theme of what we're doing this year for rhythm dance, which is musicals and operetta. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Here we go again. Now, this is something new. So for this season, when submitting the music forms and the information for each of the competitions, couples must include the title of the musical/operetta and the rhythms selected for the rhythm dance. So this year, we want you to actually put down what show it's from, what movie it's from, and what rhythms that you are doing. Okay?
That way you will not cheat us. We'll check.
Yeah. And that's it. Okay.
Okay, so now we go to required elements for seniors. Hillary.
Hello. So, required elements for next season. These are the requirements, okay? So we'll go through them slowly.
So just for your information, this table will be published in the communication. We hope that it will be on the website next week. So don't worry, you cannot read now because it's too small, but Hillary will go through all the elements so you will know clearly what is going to be next season.
Okay, so we'll have five required elements for seniors. One section of the fin step, section 1 to 33, and that's going to be 104 beats per minute, plus or minus 2 beats. The pattern dance must be skated to one of the following rhythms: quick step, Charleston, or swing. And note that the rhythm dance music, the couples must choose music which has a constant beat. So for the fin step, we've got some key points, and I'll pass you over to Sean to go through them individually. And again, we've got 4 key points, 2 for the lady, 2 for the man. So the description, the chart and the diagram of the pattern dance fin steps included in the ISU communication 1497. It's an old communication, but it will be published again this season in time.
It will be attached to the communication which will be published next week with the all requirements. So you will have the communication with the Finstep and Tea Time Foxtrot attached together to this communication. So you will not look where is it and when was it, because it was in communication many years ago. So everything you will be in one package.
Okay, so we created a little video from the video of the original Finstep to try to go through some key points here. So I'll just play a little bit of this. So first key point 1 for the lady will be steps 20 to 21. And this shows the correct execution of key points.
Step 20. Cross behind left backward outside. Free leg, cross behind the skating leg below the knee. Step 21. Cross forward, right backward inside. Free leg, cross in front of the skating leg below the knee. Twizzle, 1.5 rotation, correct turn. Correct edge, right forward outside after twizzle.
And now, incorrect execution.
The lady does not cross the free foot behind the skating foot on step 20. The free foot is not crossed at all. It is placed next to the skating foot. The lady does not cross the free foot in front of the skating foot below the knee on step 21. The lady is executing 1 full rotation and a free turn instead of 1.5 rotations twizzle. The lady is performing the turns into twizzle as double threes. Exit from the twizzle is on an inside edge instead of being on an outside edge.
Yeah. Now, key point 2, man steps, steps 20 to 21. Yeah.
Correct execution. Step 20. Cross behind left forward inside. Free leg, cross behind the skating leg below the knee. Swing, free turn. Correct swing movement of the free leg. And twizzle 1 rotation. Correct turn. Correct edge. Right backward inside after twizzle.
Okay, and now the man's incorrect execution of key point 2.
The man's free turn is jump on step 21. The man is executing a free turn and steps over backwards instead of performing a twizzle of 1 full rotation on step 21.
Okay, so we've got this video kind of created from the old video, which will be available as well. So each of the key points is done with correct and incorrect, just to give you some guidance as to what the key points are for next season.
So it's very important, whilst we've listed the key points, it's very important that you actually do the whole section. Judges are going to be evaluating the whole pattern dance, and they will be looking at all criteria. To establish the mark for the jury, it's very important that the edges and the steps and the elements and movements and dance hold are all in accordance with the dance description and the rules. To give you an idea of how the Finstep could look using the 3 specified rhythms, the IT wizards on the technical committee have produced the following clips.
She represents.
Okay, so that was the original. Here's a quick Charleston. Original.
Allez, allez, oui. À droite, oui. À gauche, oui, ça y est. C'est fait, c'est passé. Allez, le reste aussi bien. Le rythme. Excellent rythme. C'est vif, c'est rapide, ça glisse. Adorable, merveilleux, hyper.
And now the new, maybe a swing?
Okay, so that's your first section of the fin step sorted then. So 4 additional required elements: a short lift, combination set of sequential twizzles, pattern dance type step sequence style B, and a step sequence in hold or not touching or combination of both, again style B. The pattern dance type step sequence, or PST, the rhythm skated to the same rhythm chosen for the fin step. So if you've selected a quick step for the PDE, then the PST should also be a quick step. Not necessarily from the same musical, but it's the same rhythm. The pattern should start immediately following the slide and stop on step 33. Concluding on the short axis, in the middle of the rink, on the judge's side. After the completion of step 33, a stop can be up to 5 seconds, and it's not counted as one of the permitted stops. And there are no additional stops are allowed during the PST. So you can decide whether you stop and go, or you stop and you have 5 seconds to do choreography. Holds, hand-in-hand hold with fully extended arms can't be established, and partners must remain in contact at all times, even during the changes of hold and during the twizzles. So if there's no change of role in this rule, and if couples lose contact, a deduction for each partner will be applied. What isn't permitted: separations, retrogressions and loops, and again, hand-in-hand hold not permitted with fully extended arms. The PST evaluated as one unit by adding the base values of the ladies' PST level and the man PST level, and then applying the GOE. We've seen that it's worked this season, and we'll try and work again the next season. step sequence in hold or not touching, or a combination of both, the music must be different, a different rhythm from the one chosen for the pattern dance type step sequence and the pattern dance element. So again, if you've chosen the Charleston for the pattern dance element, then you have to change the rhythm to perform for this step sequence. The chosen pattern may only be the midline and the diagonal. You're allowed one stop up to 5 seconds. Separations permitted, but no more than 2 arms length apart and must not exceed the 5 seconds. No retrogression, no loops, and no fully extended arms in hand and hold. Set of sequential twizzles, at least 2 twizzles for each partner, up to 1 step between the twizzles. And just to clarify, each push and or transfer of weight while on 2 feet between the twizzle is considered as a step. You must not be in contact between the twizzles. What we're trying to do is make sure that there is a different set of twizzles in the rhythm dance from that performed in the free dance. So the set of sequential twizzles evaluated as one unit by adding the base values of the lady set of twizzles level and the man set of twizzles level, and then applying the dewey from the judges. And a maximum of 1 short lift up to 7 seconds.
Okay. Thank you, Hilary. Mauri? Now, juniors with dance.
Yes, so we will go through the required elements for the junior rhythm dance. So the pattern dance selected is the T-time foxtrot, so 2 sections of the T-time foxtrot, 108 beats per minute plus or minus 2 beats, skated to a foxtrot rhythm. Okay? The 2 sections, the first is 1 to step 31, the second from step 32 to 56. And the section 1 followed by section 2 with step number 1 skated in front of the judges, on the side of the judges. This will be the key points of the first section. So of course everybody is studying the new dance, and we will, I think, go through a bit when we will have the chart in our hands. But of course with the 4 key points, and we have to give a bit of explanation. In general, it's correct edges and correct turn. But for key points 3 and key point 4, we will ask the correct cross roll. And because this was quite difficult and controversial in the past, when we had, we decided to clarify the definition of cross roll. I'm pretty sure that will not be the universal version, but at least will give us some better idea. Okay? So the cross roll, forward or backward. A roll started with the action of the free foot approaching the skating foot from the side so as to strike the ice almost at right angles to the skating foot. While the free foot is passing the skating blade foot, the placement on the ice with the new skating blade foot is not required to be on an outside edge the moment we touch. Following this action, an outside edge is required. The combined action creates a rolling movement from one curve to the new curve. We can agree, this is what we should follow, okay? Now we have some video because the moment we touch and immediately on the outside edge. The problem was that watching as a key point, people try to hit with the outside edge immediately, and we don't do the cross roll. It's not anymore. It's a cross step most of the time. So how to maintain the motion of the cross roll, giving still like the requirements of a key point. This is the problem, okay? So we went a bit back to the nice skating we had maybe a while ago on crossrolls that with key point was a bit destroyed, right? So this is the videos that we want to show you.
Outside cross rolls are a series of steps that commence with the action of the free foot approaching the skating foot from the side, so as to be striking the ice at almost a right angle to the skating foot, the body rolling from one circle into a new circle. In this demonstration of back cross rolls being done by the man, watch the technique. The key is the placement of the free foot across the tracing, almost at right angles as it takes to the ice.
So just one comment. We are not asking for something new, something what we are going to create. It was many years ago when this video was made. You recognize the skaters who are on. And we are just would like to bring back the crossroll, what is the step described. So that what we would like to ask you to coach and to skate for the next season. Okay.
Okay, then we go to the section 2, so the second part. Again, I think it will be good when we will have the chart with the dance. You will see which, of course, is the key point. It's a dance that for juniors is, I would say, quite challenging. I don't know if some of you have seen juniors team trying. I'm trying also with senior teams, and they struggle. So, of course, it's something that it's very fast compared to what it looks. So the description chart and diagram of the pattern dance Theta and Foxtrot are already included in the Communication 2210 revised, but we still have work in progress on that, because more we are trying to do the dance, more we got, of course, objections, suggestions, why is like that, can we do something different? So we have actually consulted for every of these requests, also the creators of the dance, trying to understand if they want or not, if it's reasonable or not. So that's why, after all this feedback, we will have, first of all, a new published chart next week, and additional seminars, of course, during the spring. Now we go to this is very small, but I can tell you what is saying in yellow when there is like the step 15 is, or they may choose different hold. So this is an amendment. So in some of the steps that the couple was performing, it's very difficult if the difference of height between partners is big, and in junior is very often like that. So we said, okay, in that specific point, the hold can be changed. Nothing in the second page, but in the third page, we have again the same during the twizzle of the man, because originally the man was turning under the hand of the lady, but in case of a very tall boy and small girl, then, or if you want, you can change the hold of that double twizzle. They have to touch, of course. And then the very last step, I think almost everyone found that little problem that the dance is ending on beat 2. So we brought the end to beat 4. So the last edge the couple is doing will be 2 more beats. So you will see a 2 + 3 for the man and 1 + 5 for the lady in the new chart. Okay, this is the last step. This will give a round count to the dance. It was a little mistake on that. All right, then we have the tea time foxtrot, right?
Tea Time Foxtrot. Tea Time Foxtrot is an extremely smooth, progressive dance characterized by a long, continuous flowing movements across the eyes. The rise and fall action should be present in up and down knee action, as well as a continuity of the steps, so that if there will be a full cup of tea on the head of a dancing lady, no drops should be spilled.
No friends or relations or weekend vacations.
Essential to comfortable and effective tea time foxtrot is a dance frame, posture, connection, and foxtrot timing. The body should be held erect without either partner leaning towards the other, while in close hold partner should maintain in a light contact in a diaphragm area.
We will raise a family, a boy for you and a girl for me.
In this dance, the dancing couple may use a combination of Kilian and foxtrot hold, with the man's right arm on the lady's right hip, if they prefer to, or just regular basic foxtrot hold. Each partner should be able to maintain balance and feel comfortable in the closed holds. But posture is not just how you hold your own body, but also how you connect with your partner. The man should present the lady, and the dance holds should be very elegant throughout the whole dance. Steps are mostly choreographed in the typical foxtrot timing of slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, using all dance holds without any break of hold even during the twizzles. This dance should be danced easily, smoothly and effortlessly, as if the dancers were having a relaxing tea time break during a long day of work.
All right, so this is the dance, and of course we will go through during the season. And if something will happen during the season that we still see something in the chart, or that it will be, we will be in constant updating of the dance. Okay.
Just Marie,
yes.
may I? So the educational DVD was produced for this Tea Time Foxtrot, and it's available on the ISU website. And this is description on the DVD with every step, with everyone hold. So you can, I think that it will be very useful on the process of studying and learning this dance.
Then, as we said before, the judge will watch the whole pattern, and I don't want to repeat, will be the same as the fin step. The additional required elements for the junior rhythm dance will be a short lift, a set of sequential twizzles, and step sequence in hold or not touching, or combination of both in style B. About the step sequence must be skated to a different rhythm than the one chosen for the pattern dance element. So again, foxtrot for the tea time, another rhythm for the not touching, hold or not touching step sequence. The chosen pattern may only be midline or diagonal. The stops up to 1 permitted for up to 5 seconds, separations no more than 2 arms length and not more than 5 seconds. Retrogressions not permitted, loops either hand-in-hand hold not permitted with fully extended arms. Twizzles, the same as we said for seniors. So will be up to 1 step as usual, but we have to be careful about how many steps we will put in between if we stay on 2 feet. And must not be in contact between twizzles, so it's a not touching in the rhythm dance. Of course, is evaluated with 1 GOE, but with 2 levels. And the lift, everything as usual, 7 seconds maximum. And this will be the rhythm dance for juniors.
Okay, thank you, Marie. And now some specifications and restrictions to junior and senior rhythm dance. Sean?
Okay, just a couple reminders, very similar to this season. Again, we're doing the 30 meters short axis. So the pattern must proceed in a generally constant direction and must cross the long axis of the ice surface once at each end of the rink within no more than 30 meters short axis of the barrier. May also cross the long axis at the entry or exit of your step sequence or at the entry to the pattern dance element. Of course, you can cross the long axis while performing the step sequence, style B, and loops are permitted provided they do not cross the long axis. So all very similar to this season. Stops, again, we've already mentioned that the stops are the same as the past, 2 full stops up to 5 seconds, except in the senior rhythm dance, where they get to have, if they choose, 1 extra stop right after step 33. And for costume and prop this season, 1 change, ladies may wear trousers. And then the components, as we updated last year with defining 10 as its own category of outstanding and 9 to 975 is excellent. This is remaining unchanged for next season as well.
Okay, now we are coming to free dance, and we start with seniors. And can I? Okay, thank you. One more. Okay. So the chart gives us the summary what we have for the next year for junior and senior free dances, and the chart will be published in the communication next week. So going to details for seniors, nothing has been changed with the lifts. We have the same 2 options for lifts. The short lift must be a different time than the combination lift. This is a reminder. We put it here. It was nothing changed, just it was not within our requirements, and it happened this season that a couple has same lift as a short lift and same lift in the combination. Same type of lift. So just to remind you that short lift must be different than that lift or those lifts what you have chosen for the combination lift. And nothing has been changed with the dance spin as an element. There are some changes in levels, but then when we go to the levels, we will explain you what has been changed. For step sequence, there is a step sequence in hold, style B, and patterns, 1 straight midline or diagonal and 1 curve, circular serpentine. I just would like to remind you that the pattern in ice dance is described. So whether when you had chosen pattern, diagonal pattern, it must go diagonal. It cannot change in the middle of the pattern to serpentine. If there is deviation of the pattern and judge is lost and does not know what pattern you are doing in the middle of the step sequence, remember that that is a negative feature, and that your GOE may be without this deviation, could be +4, +5, but with the 1 negative feature, it comes immediately to +3. So just take it in consideration when you will be choreographed step sequences. Nothing has been changed with restrictions, so specifications for style B, retrogression, 1 retrogression permitted, must not exceed 2 measures of music, separations no more than 2 arms length and must not exceed 5 seconds, and not permitted elements are the same, hand in hand with fully extended arms, not permitted, loop stops, retrogression with more than 2 measures and separation longer than 5 seconds. All these under not permitted elements, this is deduction, not deduction, but it's a negative feature for the judges. So don't don't make the judge to have this opportunity to use that. My suggestion is just not use any not permitted elements in your step sequences. For one foot step sequence not touching, here is a change. Turns performed on one foot by each partner and must be started with the first turn at the same time. What does it mean? That we require only the first turn done at the same time. So other 3 turns you may have simultaneously done, or you may have not at the same time. That was, I think, during the whole season, we got feedback from coaches that maybe if it will be not so restricted, there will be more space for choreography for one foot step sequence. So we will see next year if it works. I hope it will give more variety and more choreography to one foot step sequence. And we keep that the step sequence is evaluated separately for lady and man, and there is one Joey for as a unit for this element. For set of synchronized twizzles, there is one set of synchronized twizzles. You can see in brackets is written free dance variation. According to the rules, we may have variations, the combinations, which from of various elements, and it is announced in the communication. So for next season, we use this rule, and we make this variation for the free dance of synchronized twizzles. What is difference? At least 2 twizzles for each partner with a minimum 2 steps and up to 4 steps between first and second twizzle. Each push and or transfer of weight while on 2 feet between twizzles is considered as a step. So you cannot do just one step as we have in rhythm dance. This is the way we would like to differentiate 2 sets of twizzles. For rhythm dance, you have to up to 1 step, so maximum 1 step. But for free dance, not less than 2 and not more than 4. So 2 up to 4, yeah? Okay. And the other differences, and we introduced this already this season, partners must be in contact. What is new? At some point between first and second twizzle. So if you want, you may have all 4 steps in hold. You may have just touch somewhere in any point, or yes, make like that. It is already a point when you are in contact, but you must, this is must, that you have to do that. Again, we try to differentiate 2 sets of twizzles in rhythm dance and free dance. And we have 3 different choreographic elements. We keep choreographic character step sequence as obligatory. And we think that this element got this year a lot of applause from public, and it's getting more and more exciting, this choreo step sequence. So we are very happy that it went this direction and we achieved what we would love to. Plus 2 different additional chosen from choreographic lift, whistling movement, spinning movement, sliding movement. We have tomorrow, again, discussion on choreographic elements. These are elements what we have so far. But maybe in future we will have some other ideas for choreographic elements, again, based on discussion with coaches at our meetings at championships, Europeans, for continents, junior worlds. We got some ideas we are now discussing. Maybe it will be not introduced next season, but we have all in mind, and probably in the future we will have more choreo elements. Okay, free dance for juniors. Sean.
Hello again. Okay, so for junior next season, again, very similar to what you have this year. So it's the 2 lifts. You have the 1 chosen up to 12 seconds, or 2 lifts, so 2 short lifts, maximum 7 seconds. 1 dance spin, so it can be a spin or a combination spin. 1 step sequence and hold, style B, again, similar to this year, can either be a straight line step sequence, midline diagonal, or one of the curved step sequences. Nothing changed what we talked about in senior as well for the step sequence. So retrogressions, 1 is permitted, must not exceed 2 measures of music. Separations permitted, no more than 2 arms length, and must not exceed 5 seconds. And of course, not permitted hand-in-hand loops, stops, everything that you saw in senior. Also, the 1 foot step sequence, not touching. So again, turns performed on 1 foot by each partner and must be started with the first turn at the same time. So same exact 1 foot step sequence requirement for the senior. Again, with at least 2 twizzles, for the synchronized twizzles for junior, the same as well. So at least 2 twizzles for each partner with a minimum of 2 steps and up to 4 steps between the first and second twizzles. And must be in contact. So the same exact requirements as we discussed for senior. Their choreographic elements are also the same, so they may choose 2 from the 5 that we currently have. And these are a couple of updates. So choreographic lift for next year is the same, so minimum of 3 seconds, maximum 10 seconds. And of course, after all of the other lifts in the program. Choreographic spinning movement is also the same as our current season. Choreographic twizzling movement, again, same as this season. And here we have a slight change. So choreographic sliding movement, the 3rd bullet, may be in hold or not touching, or a combination of both, and may also rotate. There were just several questions last year that people thought it had to be one or the other, hold or not in hold, and it really can be in anything. It can be a combination of hold, not touching, whatever works best for the choreography. And for the choreographic character step sequence, couple of changes. 2nd bullet here shows that must be placed around the short axis and must proceed from barrier to barrier. So that Q&A that came out in the season last year that said just kind of crossing the long axis, that's gone. Must go from barrier to barrier, or you could be in jeopardy of not having the choreographic element, the character step sequence confirmed. That's a lot of points to lose, okay? And with the choreographic character step, we've listened, we've adjusted. It can go up to 4 arms length apart, which is basically 4 meters. However, I have to say that when those choreographic character steps are so in sync and close to each other, they are really, really quite good. So before you just skate far apart from each other, just remember that we still are doing a visual quality with that GOE for the judges about how well it's executed and the creativity and everything is all part of that GOE. So just because you can doesn't mean that you should. But we've given you the option, okay?
This is secure for you. If you are a little bit more than 2 arms apart, you can be 4 arms apart, but you will be not getting this negative feature. So you can be still +4, +5.
And then just a couple things about the, talking about the specifications, restrictions for free dance for both junior and senior. A couple things we've changed. So of course the 2nd bullet again, distance allowed is a maximum of 2 arms length, during any separations throughout a free dance, except during the choreographic character step sequence. Duration of each separation, excluding the required elements, is 5 seconds max. So just like in the rhythm dance, when you go in and out of an element, if you separate for too long, it is now a negative feature. It has always kind of been a negative feature, but now it is definitely a specific negative feature. And then for touching the ice, we will allow touching the ice not only in the sliding movement, but also the choreographic character step sequence for next season. And last but not least, the components, same as this season with the new definition of outstanding and excellent, and nothing else has changed on the component requirements.
Thank you, Sean. Some information about Basic Novice, Alper.
Yes, Basic Novice 2019-2020 season. Basic Novice has not reached the age of 13. 2 pattern dances are to be skated from the following: Group 1, 14-step, Willow Waltz, and Tango Canesta. Intermediate Novice 2019-2020 season has not reached the age of 15. One of the 2 groups announced for the season shall be drawn before the first practice of the competition. Each group contains 2 pattern dances. Group 2, 14-step and tango. Group 3, foxtrot and European waltz. Advanced Novice 2019-2020 season. Advanced Novice has reached the age of 10 and has not reached the age of 15 for the girls and 17 for the boys. The following 2 pattern dances are to be skated: Starlight Waltz and Quick Step. Key points for the all pattern dances for the novice levels will be included in the ISU communication. Requirements for the technical rules 2019-2020. And very important part, all other requirements related to the novice categories are published in the ISU communication 2172, which is including free dance, callings, and all extra.
So just to clarify that, the key points will come out next week. We don't have to wait a novice communication. This is the new, and all the rest is from the free dance, for instance, is in the old one. So who is working with novices will appreciate that all the rules are out together with juniors and seniors. I think it's a good point. And we don't wait anymore the other committee, which is very good. Okay.
So that's all. And technical committee member Diris Georgielek is going to represent changes in the level for the required elements for 2019-20.
Okay, so we turn to the well-awaited part, I'm pretty sure, that what are we changing again in the rules. But we really tried not to change just to change. We really tried to get the experience from the past and trying to give more possibility if we could, and we tried to have the same approach to many callings and to be clear in these kind of things. So I'm starting with the dance spin. As you can see that what we have changed here is that we don't have any more the option 1 and option 2. We have a new difficult feature, which is the different direction of spinning rotation. If you will see later that it doesn't really change anything about the characteristics of the levels, but it makes more. We think it makes more clear how to handle this element. So for this feature, the requirements is that it has to be simultaneous change of spinning direction for both partners and at least 2 rotations in each direction of rotation. What we have changed in the dance spins, and it will affect the lifts later as well, that we found out that we need to do something more in details for the entry and exit feature, which is the continuous combination of intricate steps or movements or the combination of both. As you can see, we inserted the word different. This is because we found out sometimes that it doesn't really show what we would like to reach with this continuous combination of steps and movements. So this, we feel, would help a little bit, give more variety, what will be better for the audience as well. And as you can see, the second line, there is a bigger change, as we did not change the part that it doesn't have to be still difficult to get that feature, but it must be at least creative, interesting, and or unique. So just try to do something which really gives more to that lift. What we have changed in the characteristics is affected for the spins, as now we can see that the spins are as good as the combination spins, and to have the same and very clear approach for this. So for the spins, 3 rotations is needed for the difficult variation. We think it's really there. But it will give the opportunity to really have the dance spin as a whole, and you can choose a spin or a combination spin, and it will be the same approach for both. Okay, you can see here the characteristics of levels. It will be in the communication for sure. I don't know how much you can see of it, but the logic is that for the basic level, you don't need any feature, just the number of rotations. For level 1, you need 1 feature, level 2, 2 features, level 3, 3 features. And for level 4, it's more like a 4 plus 1 feature, which is the entry or the exit. So you will see it didn't really change like from the past. Okay, for the lifts. Okay, we try to clear out as much as possible the gray zones and possible questions. So we have here, which is more a principle of calling, but it really affects the level. So if the lifting partner creates a temporary deviation, for example, pattern deviation, stop rotating and resuming, stationary travels, during the established type of the lift, the technical panel will reduce the level by 1. But it is just for the pattern itself. It's not for the entry and not for the exit features. The other change is, which we say, if a deviation within a short lift creates 2 types of lifts, example, a straight line lift becomes a curve lift, the type of the lift should be identified and features considered based on the majority of what type is executed. So the difference between the first and the second is that in this case, if there are 2 clearly different type of lifts in one short lift, we take the majority, which pattern was the majority, and we will take those features which were done in that part. And the previous example was just for, as it was written, a temporary deviation, and it is all the features are taken, and there will be just 1 level reduced. Okay, for the lifts, this is the same we have put everywhere for this continuous combination of steps, movements that were different, and the intricate is here as well, is important. So the entry feature from this example, 2 times. You can do it 2 times. So it means if both partners perform this entry feature at the same time, both entry features will be considered for the level. Any third attempt of this by either partner will be not considered for the level. So if you use it for 1 lift, the lifted partner and lifting partner is doing it, then it's done. You cannot do anything in the next lift, but it's the same as we have for this season. What we have changed is the exit features. You can see we put the different word here as well, but here is a bigger change, as we has to say limited this kind of exit feature to one possibility. So either the lifting partner or the lifted partner can do this exit feature, and this is just for one lift. If you are doing the second time or both are performing these exit features, only one will be considered for the level. The change for the exit features is group 3, the difficult position for the lifting partner. There is a small change, and it's we thought it's important to really make it more obvious for everyone that there is something there as an exit. So it says that to be considered for the difficult position from group 3, this must be reached and sustained before the lifted partner touches the ice. The exit feature must be achieved without any intermediate position into the new difficult position considered and given credit for levels. So we would like to see that there is another difficult position as the exit feature, and it's not the same time as the lift is ended. So it has to be obviously done before the lift, and the lifted partner touches the ice. For the twizzles, we made a slight change. These are more about the errors and the consequences of the errors, and it's more for the basic principles and additional principles of calling. So if a loss of control with additional support, touchdown by free leg, foot, and or hands by one or both partners occurs after a twizzle has commenced, and the twizzle continues without interruption, its level shall be reduced by 1 level per error for that partner. So that's what is changed, because right now, if there is a touchdown in one twizzle, that twizzle is gone. So if it was done after one rotation, there was a touchdown, we stopped counting rotating that twizzle. But this is changed now, so we are still counting. So if we are doing 4 rotations in a twizzle, and there is a touchdown in the third twizzle, it means that we are counting the first and the second rotations. We don't count the third rotation, but we count the last one. But at the same time, so we have 3 rotations counted with the features that were achieved, and then we reduce the level by 1. We find it more fair to the skaters and maybe more possible. But this is only for a touchdown. If there is like a 2 feet skating and it's an interruption, then it's a different rule, and that's a different story. This is another principle of calling. If a fall or interruption occurs prior to the entry to the first twizzle by either partner, the element is given no level for both partners, even if other partner has completed the element. So just to understand what does this mean, it means that we would like to see that the element starts together, even that there was a fall or interruption before the element. So we suggest that you may think about, as a coach as well, to say for your skaters that either there is a fall before the twizzles, wait for your partner and start together. It's not about the choreography that you are not starting as a synchronized twizzle. It's not this rule. It's for a fall or interruption. So we would like to be able to identify that this will be the twizzle and this will be what will be called. Okay, so we made some adjustments here in the twizzle groups. As you can see, the elbow feature, to say that, elbow at least level with or higher than the level of the shoulders. Elbow or elbows could be above the head, same level as the head, or lower than the head. But this is important, the hands not clasp. Why not? It's because you can see before the 4th bullet here, that there is the straight arms clasp in front and extended away from the body. So we changed this to be able to give credit for all the straight arms clasped in front, which are a little bit higher or lower than the required in this season. So this is for the skaters, and we try to but for the elbow feature, it cannot be clasped, so it's important to make a difference between the two.
Okay, Georgie?
Yeah.
So, is it clear? Now, when you clasp your hands and they are straight, you may have on any level in front, yeah, clasped. When you have to reach the elbow feature, it cannot be clasped, and of course the same principles what we had, it must be above the level of the arm, of the shoulder, yeah? So I think we give a little bit more possibility for you with the straight, because frankly speaking, I must tell you that in the technical panels we had so many problems to evaluate this feature, whether it's on the level of the shoulders or a little bit lower or some. So no, we just decided that whenever the arms are straight in front and clasped in front, this feature is accepted, okay?
Okay, and we made an adjustment to the significant continuous motion of arms, that it can be just one arm only, but it has to be significantly continuous, so that's still the same. For the Group B features, we found it's more clear if we specify the coupe that the hip must be open at least 45 degrees. Because sometimes this gives, again, a hard duty for the technical panel to find out how much open it is open for you, it is not open for the others. So the 45 degrees is pretty clear, and this will clear out how is it accepted. And the bullet 3, there is a small adjustment as well, that if you are doing the cross behind free leg, then it must be straight as the feature. Yeah.
It is a little bit different than it was before. So what we wanted to do with these old features for Twizzlers, we tried to make them usable, whether it's good, correct English name, so that you can use them. Because we found out that some features you're not using, or maybe they are much more difficult, so we try to make them a little bit more easy, that you will start to use them. Because so far from all the list, there are just 3 or 4 features which are really used. So straight free leg cross behind, it means that it is not, as we had before, straight above the knee. So it can be just touching, and I think one couple had here as a third twizzle at this competition, as a third twizzle, this cross behind straight. Yeah? Am I right? Piper and Paul. Yeah, that's right. So they had in the third twizzle, so already in the feature, but this you can use in the first 2 twizzlers in the same way. So it does not mean that it must be far away from the skating foot. It could be close, but the leg must be straight. Mm-hmm.
And the last change here in the Group B features, this is, as Halina said, we are trying to make it more attractive, that we specified for the changing the level of the skating leg knee with a continuous wave motion. So that's what we would like to give the opportunity for you to do it, so you don't have to go down and then go up. So you can, like a wave motion, it can be done as well. So maybe it will be easier to achieve.
It means that it is not necessary to go to 90 degrees sit position. No, if we see that there is a waving motion of the knee, that you go up and down, this is requirement for this feature, okay?
Okay, and for the Group C features, we had to adjust the third twizzle, and now the third twizzle preceded by a maximum of 1 step for both the sequential twizzles and for the set of synchronized twizzles as well. So we try to make more compact the twizzles, so it doesn't take long between the second and the third twizzle, so up to one step in the sequential and the synchronized twizzles as well. And for the feature that is the 1 foot without a change of foot between two twizzles, we had to adjust this because we have a variation in the free dance synchronized twizzles. So this option will be possible in the sequential twizzles in the rhythm dance between all twizzles. But for the free dance, it is only possible between the second and the third twizzle because we require you to have at least 2 steps between the twizzles in the free dance.
Okay, Georgie? So it means that in a rhythm dance, you may choose this feature, 1 foot, between first or second, but you may choose not between first and second, because you cannot choose 1 foot between first, second, and the feature third twizzle. In that case, or if you can, that's great. If you can do all three twizzles on 1 foot, congratulations. It would be great. Maybe we will have additional bonus for that. But that's what we give you an additional option. So you may have in rhythm dance between first and second, or you can choose another features for the first and second, but 1 foot between second and third twizzle. Yeah? And in free dance, you have no option. If you use this feature, it can be used only between second and third twizzle. Okay.
And one adjustment we made for the entry to the set of twizzles directly from difficult, creative, intricate, or unexpected entry, that it can be different per partner. So one can do a drag, the other can do whatever, an inner bower, so it's possible because it is evaluated per partner, so it's another option for you. You can do maybe a different. Okay, the same chosen additional feature shall be considered for level for each partner if it is executed simultaneously by both partners when no errors have occurred by either partner. Any errors are evaluated per partner. So this principle to say that it's just that you have to try and perform the features together with your partner. In case of an error, that's another story. It will be evaluated per partner, but we needed to adjust this. And last but not least, for the step sequences. In the 1 foot step sequence, turns performed on 1 foot by each partner and must be started with the first turn at the same time. This was already announced by Halina that this is a change for you and it gives you more opportunity, but we need to see where you start. So the first turn has to start at the same time. But it is evaluated as a unit with a level for each partner. We try to have the same approach for the 1 foot step sequence as we are evaluating separately the partners. If there is a loss of control with additional support, this is the same approach as we are reducing by 1 level per error for that partner. And this principle is completely the same as for the twizzles, and I was already told you that in case of a fall or interruption occurs prior to the entry edge to the first difficult turn of the 1 foot step sequence by either partner, the element is given no level for both partners, even if the other partner has completed the element. So just wait for your partner and then start together. Then, in this case, the levels will be evaluated separately. And as we are evaluating this season for the first time, the pattern dance type step sequence separately by partners, we needed to adjust this part as well. So in pattern dance type step sequence, if partners do not remain in contact at all times, even during changes of hold and allowed stops, the level shall be reduced by 1 level per each partner. This provision does not apply to loss of contact due to a fall. So if you lose the contact with your partner, it affects both partners' level and will be reduced by 1.
Okay, grade of execution. We have not changed anything with the grade of execution, so we have 11 grades from +5 to -5, but as I said at the beginning, our feeling is that in ice dance we need more pluses. It would be great if we have, and I was talking already with the judges, if we can have +7 and -3, I think it will give more accurate feedback to the elements we've seen today. Because the elements are getting better and better, and therefore was the change from +3 to +5 to evaluate this better quality which you are reaching. But now we see that even +5 in ice dance is not enough. So far we cannot do anything. It is what it is. So to reach +5, it's not easy, but those who got +5, congratulations. And we have a little bit revised chart for Joey, for the judges. There are some little changes, again based on discussions with the judges, based on reports we've got from the referees, and to make it maybe easier to read for the judges. So the revised chart will be published in Communication Requirements for Technical Rules with Ongoing Validity, and probably this will be in 2 weeks, not the first communication, but the second one. And that are all requirements, what we have for the next season. And now, if you have any questions, that's the time we will try to answer.
Oh, it's not.
Okay. So the request is whoever will be asking the question, please introduce yourself. And speak loud, because unfortunately we cannot move these microphones far away from. Can we? Oh, no, we can. Okay, great. So,
At least here.
At least somewhere here, so just maybe come here if you have a question.
Hello, I'm Stefano Caruso, coach, Milan. I would like to ask a step 46 for the T-time Fox. I don't know if you got already the info about the right cross front, right forward, inside, outside, double twizzle. I think there is a mistake of the timing. It's written 2 + 1 + 1 and should be 2 + 2 like the lady.
Can you check, please, on the screen what we have? Okay.
Unless you want the man to do right backward inside for 2 beats.
But have you checked the new one?
Yeah. I mean, if is this the new?
+1 + 1
Yeah.
+2.
Yeah, the man step. So basically, we have to do 2 beats on the right backward inside, 1 beat the right forward outside, 1 beat double twizzle, if I understand correctly.
Okay, tell me that step once more, number?
46.
46, we will check this. Okay.
Okay. And can we go back for the exits for the lift about unique, I mean, the one that you change because I would like to see and discuss maybe with the other coaches what they think about it.
You are talking about the exit
Yes.
features. Exit features. This what we have added. We would like to have something else that just a small lift and a turn. There were so many couples doing just this that we think that it is not intricate. It does not add anything to the lift, to choreography, nothing. So we would like to have some, we cannot call it intricate. Therefore, we just added this creative, interesting, unique.
Do you all agree?
These are steps or movements, anything or combination, step or movement, but combination. So you may have combination of movements or a step and a movement, but it must be more than one.
And not the same. So the key really, Stefano, I know you're on creative, unique, and interesting, but the key is that they have to be different. A lot of times we're just seeing hop, hop,
Twizzle.
and twizzle. Well, the hop, hop is the same.
Yeah.
So we need to just try to create more variety with these exits that really can be more interesting, creative, and unique. And so just keep in mind they need to be different. You can't just do twizzle, twizzle, and think that you've got your exit feature done.
So it means that this kind of exit will be not anymore
accepted.
Yes, and I can tell you that today we've seen a lot of great exits, and they will be accepted because they fulfill all these requirements what we are asking for. Just to eliminate that many what we've seen, usually maybe at the lower level of competitions, but still our level of skating. But still, we would like that all couples will think a little bit more about the exit, so not just hop and turn.
But how will you define what is okay and not? I find this being very gray. If you do our up and twizzle, is it good or not? Is if you do a twizzle and a choctaw, is it good? They're two different, intricate. Is it good or not? That's the line. Where's the line? I find it's very, very gray right now.
Patrice, I think that you have no problems to find how the exits can be intricate. I can tell you.
It's not what I'm
I
saying.
think that you're the last in this room who should ask this question.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I have couples that are right now doing a drag and a twizzle. So will that mean that a drag and a twizzle do not count anymore? Is that what the
No,
rule is saying?
everything depends how the drag is done, whether it's immediately or not, how it adds to the whole lift.
Okay.
It can be the drag, but the drag and drag or just lift, yes.
So this feature is part of the difficulty. So it doesn't mean that it has to be difficult, but it has to give some difficulty to the lift. So I finish the lift, I stopped, and then I just do a hop and a twizzle. It doesn't fulfill this requirement. So that's what we would like to more clarify, because now it's not clarified how we would like to see as a difficulty.
I agree. I still think it's very gray. I don't think it's more clear because it's written like this. I agree with you. For me, when you put a lift down, the lift is over. It doesn't make the lift more difficult. So, but I don't think you're made something more clear with this.
This is why we took one of these options away from getting a lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for example, if we will do a rocker and counter are intricate steps, but not unique. not creative. I mean, not
They are
interesting.
difficult steps, but whether they are intricate, it depends how you combine them with something.
Yeah, but it should be right after the lift. So I should land first and then do the rocker and the counter with a little less of speed.
So, Barbara, these
I'm
are
not unique.
no. These
but
are
it's intricate.
what we have here are examples. So you can do
But
whatever.
this is what he was saying. Where? I mean, who will decide if it's okay or not? Because then it will be not clear. This is what he was asking also. I mean, if it's really unique, everyone can understand because it will be like, wow. But still, rocker and counter are intricate, but not unique.
Okay, Barbara, so I see that this is still questionable, so tomorrow we will discuss again, and I can tell you that we spent many hours already on discussion how to make this clear for everybody, that it gives difficulty to the lift, and at the same time it gives this unique and creativity to the lift. Because just to say that something must be difficult at the end, that's not what we really want.
We don't want to put you in troubles, but we don't want to have troubles when we will make the programs.
Yeah, okay, so tomorrow, okay, Barbara, I promise you that tomorrow we come back again to this point.
Because I think it's unique, you get a +5. If it's just, I think I'm out. No?
1 second.
Sorry. I think we move a little bit like back, because we do something, and like Barbara said, 2 steps, for example. If judges don't like, they give us +1, 0, -2, whatever. If you do something unique, we get our +5, not? Because what we already learned, we always try to do something with kids. Somehow can be happened choreography better, maybe not so good, but we somehow try.
Okay,
At
so-
least a little bit stay like, are you not unique? Again, opinion, just 2 person, it's unique or not? My opinion is unique. You know, it's a little bit like that, I think.
And I can tell you that we have already deleted this option, but maybe Mauri will answer. He came and said, no, don't delete this. This is an option, the important option for coaches. So maybe I will ask him to answer now why we moved it back.
Well, my point when we were discussing this was mainly for seniors, and when we are using 3 lift. If we take out this option, then I want to see how many lifts we can do with different exit and different entry and getting everything, and we already go pretty crazy trying to make that.
There's one option. Sorry, I don't like speaking in the mic. There's one option that would help us is exit from a difficult position for the man. If we could do it all the time, then it would have more options. Say, example, I do a spread eagle, and then on my second lift, I choose to still do a spread eagle, but if I come out on 1 foot from the spread eagle, I should be able to get it as a feature, but now I can't. You understand? So this would open up possibilities already, I think. Because I still did the same thing. It's as difficult. It's just because of where I place it in the program, it's not difficult anymore. And on that too, I find it not fair to the skaters when, if you don't perform something well in the middle of your lift, you lose entry and exit. Say if I'm doing a spread eagle, say I'm going in the spread eagle, I hold my spread eagle for 2.5 seconds, and I go down 1 foot, I lose all 3. But I still picked up the lift on the spread eagle, and I still came on 1 foot. I still executed those features well. Why am I losing all 3? Doesn't make any sense. Not fair to the skaters, I think.
I would argue that a little bit, because the point of the lift is that there's something difficult within the lift. And if they don't achieve that one difficult, whether it's the lifted or the lifting, then there's a consequence. So that's why, in order to create a level for the lift and make it a valuable element.
But it's also very, it becomes a very, like the price of the mistake is too high, I think. Not holding a spread eagle for 3 seconds and holding it for 2.5 seconds should not be worth 3 points or 4 points. Like it's big deduction for very small mistakes. And I think this is not good for the sport and for the public who will not understand a couple that just performed something and they didn't get 3 points for it and it looked perfect to them.
For example, when we have the landing, we have no time to breathe because it's not connected with the landing. I mean, maybe the music will request a breathe before the twizzle and jump or the unique exit, but we can't do it because it's not connected. Just think about this. I'm just afraid if they will tell yes about the use 2 times the 1 foot for the landing, they will ask for the 1 foot section there. So I'm just afraid. Just don't have different ideas for the 1 foot.
Yeah. I think those are all ideas that we can continue to discuss about how that group with the 1 foots and the spread eagles and the crouches can be used more than just once. So I think we've discussed that already, so we can continue to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, and this is an improvement that we want to do. I'm for giving more options. So, I mean, I'm not, I totally understand the point, and that's why I was like, why we take out one of the possible exit? That was my point, and I said, I think coaches want to have more possibilities of do exits and not less, because if we have less, then we will do fantastic. But when you see 25 skaters, 25 couples, and everybody starts to do the same 1 foot exit 2 times in the free, blah, 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 you understand the point. So it's a good option, but we need to have also variety. So that was the point I was trying to
So this
point out.
combination now can be used only once. So only for 1 lift you may use these combinations. We'll try to find something to prove that Mauri was right.
Well, I have several questions. I'm Alla Shekhovtsova from Russia. The first question is the feature for the twizzles when the free foot is crossing behind. It's written it should be straight. As far as I understand in English, straight it means like a locked. I would say even now this feature we are not so often can see on the ice. And who will choose this feature with this definition will be completely crazy. Because if the free foot will be slightly bent, it means that the technical panel will not have a possibility to count this feature as a difficult feature. Just I would like to ask to think, to give the possibility for the slightly bent cross free foot option. This is one question, and this is my just suggestion. And the next one, I'm very worried about the definition of the cross roll, because what does it mean, a right angle? As far as I understand, the right angle, it's 90 degrees. I'm so sorry, but dynamically and physically, it's not possible to put the free foot with the right angle on the ice. Think probably better to think and to lowering the degrees, like for example, not less than 45. Even in this example with Maya Usova, she's using just 45 degrees to cross the direction. And I think will be better to think and create a new definition if you would like to choose this feature as the feature for the level. Otherwise, I'm a little bit afraid. And can I continue? I have one more question. And the third question is The requirements for the how to mark the components in case of two falls, because what is written now, it looks like, for example, if it will be the fall by two person, like the up and down fall, and the judges in this case will be in very difficult situation. Can you imagine to see the protocol with all marks for all judges, like 8 and 75? And all of the marks will be completely the same. It can look strange, and I don't think so that in case of brief fall, like up and down, all components will be affected. Probably will be better to use the similar direction like the singles and pairs doing. They reduce 3 components, and it's written not higher than 9 for 3 components. But for example, transition and composition, this kind of fall, it's not affect so much the composition and not affect so much transition, and probably for the judges will be much more comfortable to use the direction like the singles and pairs doing that. Just suggestion. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tim Coletto. I'm a competitor for Japan. I just have a question about the music selection for the rhythm dance next season, and whether musicals that have no lyrics are accepted, such as Lord of the Dance or Stomp, you know, these musicals that have toured but have no lyrical qualities.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, again, the bottom line is, are there songs from those musicals that meet quick step, blues, march, polka, foxtrot, swing, Charleston, waltz? Then yes, why not, for sure.
The general comment for the music selection for the rhythm dance, that first of all, listening all the musicals, you have to think about the rhythms, what are requested for the next season. This is the first you have to think about.
I would like to ask one thing for the crossroads again. Through all the season, we did, of course, a backward cross roll in a tango, and this is a just example for us. We started to do really clean cross rolls, and I remember that Halina last season was asking, please don't do cross step, do cross rolls. I remember, and we started to work like crazy with our teams to do cross rolls and not cross steps. After the second Grand Prix event, we didn't get the level. Then we saw some teams they did clear cross steps and they get the level. Also at the Junior Worlds. My team didn't get the cross roll. I just want to say that if it's cross rolls, has to be cross roll, not cross step. But the panels has to follow this because we work it for all the summer into the cross rolls. And then at the end of September, we switch it into the cross steps. And this is not correct.
Yes, absolutely, we agree with you, Barbara. Therefore, last season, cross rolls as a step cross roll was not a feature. We just asked for the edges. Therefore, the technical panel was watching only the edges. And we found out that it is not correct, that the cross roll must be a proper cross roll. But we started to think how to make this proper cross roll if it is impossible to be immediately on outside edge. Therefore, we have this, what is below this explanation, that the moment this crossing is flat, and then when it's passing is going to outside edge. And the technical panel will be instructed exactly the way we are talking about now. The other thing is the angle that Ala said. The problem is that this description, almost a triangle to the skating foot, is in our rule book. So, if we can discuss the angle, whether it's 45, 90, 75 degrees, but this can be changed only after the Congress. So for the season 2019-20, we have to go with that what we have in the rule book. For the next season, for the following season, we may, during the season, make your opinion, a consultation with you, with coaches, and to come to the consensus at what angle the free foot should pass the skating foot. But so far, as I said, this right angle is in the rule book, and this is the rule, what was description for this step from the beginning. So that how always was described, and how always I think everybody was trying to skate crossroads.
In this case, probably the best solution will be wait till next Congress and change before this definition, and then to include as a feature for the technical panel. Otherwise, it's quite risky.
The risk is also that we are losing the step. After this season and the crossroads we observed in tango, Argentine tango, we are a little bit afraid that in a few seasons we will forget what is the crossroad. Therefore, we moved back, and it is, of course, that the technical panel will not watch with the angle, whether it's 90 degrees or 85 degrees, or that must be angle. And the most important, that is a cross and roll action. This is the most important for cross roll. And that the edge is after the foot is passing the skating foot. Maybe you have a solution. Maybe you already know how to help that the cross roll is performed correctly, but still keeping this this way what we have written down there.
Quickly, don't you feel that just the placement of the blade on the ice, not, as it says, not required to be on an outside edge, already gives you...
Crossroll is outside, crossover is outside, inside of flag, okay? It's a crossover. We work every day to have a clean rocker.
Yeah, now you understand why we did not include the cross roll.
Alina, sorry. We had problems also in our countries because we started to do cross rolls, and then our technical specialists came after the Junior Grand Prix event and they said, look at that team, they get the level. Yes, I say, but this is cross step. And Halina said, no, don't do cross step. And they say, yes, okay, let's wait for the next competition. Okay. And I was saying, guys, we are doing cross steps. Yeah. Yes, but we had the problems also at nationals like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not correct.
Okay.
He said crossover. If it's flat, it's a crossover. It's not a cross roll.
Okay, so we will discuss this subject again, but we really don't want to lose this step, because we think that in ice dance, in many pattern dances, this cross roll exists, and if we will not require, then we will have cross steps instead of cross rolls. So, okay. Yeah, that's will be the same. Yes, yeah. So I think that we have to finish our meeting now, and I just promise you that the subjects will be discussed tomorrow, and the first communication should be published next week, and with the next communication now maybe we will postpone a little bit to make clear everything. So Thank you very much for participation, and thank you for great competition. And we already are waiting for the next season and wonderful musical operettas, rhythm dances, and new ideas for free dances. Thank you, and safe trip home.
Bravo.